Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Some of the coldest air of the season diving in from Canada here over the next couple of days. We'll show you when we get some brief relief before another punch of that kind of cold air comes in. Coming up.
Plus, parents in Durham will need to think of a backup plan at least once a week, as bus routes won't run all 5 school days. The new plan meant to address the bus driver shortage and how it's affecting families.
And an on-field brawl between UNC and NC State students is prompting a response from both schools. How officials are responding. Good morning, everyone. It is 6 o'clock on the Monday after your Thanksgiving weekend. We hope you had a wonderful holiday, and thanks for checking back in with us. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Chris Lovegood in for Jeff Hogan. Today, and it's not winter, right? But to me, it kind of feels like winter outside. I was going through, Chris.
It's December.
It's December. We're getting there on meteorological winter. When's the actual day winter starts, Chris? Because it's cold, feel like it.
I was just about to say, I was about to put on my nerd hat and be like, actually, it's meteorological winter. Astronomical winter starts December 21st. But hey, looks like it, feels like it, and we're happy about it. 34 degrees. If you're having a hard time waking up this morning, especially after the holiday weekend, just step outside, take the dog for a quick walk. Temperatures in the 30s, really up until about midday. By the afternoon, our highs are only in the low to mid 40s. So that northwest breeze really helping to keep the cold air locked in for the next couple of days. That includes tomorrow morning. So right now, a lot of us about 30 to 35. By tomorrow morning, we're about 20 to 25 with Durham at 23 degrees. Wind chill may be slightly lower than that as well. And I know what a lot of you are thinking. If it's going to be this cold, it might as well snow, especially because it hasn't in more than 1,000 days. I'll show you when and where we see the chance for a few flurries coming up in just a bit.
Chris, you can keep all that snow away from me, that's for sure. Monday morning at 6:01 here as we get the work week started. Green across the board, clear across the board, which is good news here if you're heading to work this morning. No delays out there so far. That's really good news. I-48 Rock Quarry Road, that's our live look there. Free flowing in both directions. We'll let you know if anything changes.
Brett, thank you. Starting today, parents in Durham will have to find a new way to get their kids to school. Durham Public Schools is making them responsible for getting their own kids to school once a week. WRAL's Laura Levine joins us live from North Durham's bus lot. Laura, good morning to you. This is a plan because they don't have enough bus drivers.
To put it plain and simple, good morning, Renee. Yes, we will begin to see more buses parked here in lots just like this here in Durham. We know for today, for more than 20 routes, we'll have more families taking their children to school rather than bus drivers. The district has divided the rotational routes into 5 groups, A through E, to help address a bus driver shortage. Families will be responsible for transporting their students to and from school one day each week, with bus service provided 4 days per week. Now, Superintendent Anthony Lewis says this approach will help in managing the shortage efficiently, ensuring current drivers can cover more routes equitably. Now, we spoke with parents when this change was announced, concerned about having to juggle transportation for children attending multiple different schools, which means no bus routes for 2 or more days.
Maybe the only positive of this announcement that they had today was that at least we know, where for most of this year, when these things come up, they're very last minute.
So for now, this schedule is set for the next 3 weeks. However, Superintendent Anthony Lewis did tell WRAL that it could extend into the new year. We know that they are working to find permanent solutions for 2025. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Durham.
So if you see behind me right here, we're working to learn more about this investigation in Wake County. This was the scene in the area of Crab Orchard Drive and Lake Dam Road in Wake County last night. The video shows state troopers focusing on a white SUV. You see it right here. And you'll notice the damage to the front bumper and the front window. As soon as we learn more, we'll update you on that story.
One man is hurt after a shooting at the downtown Go Raleigh bus station. Raleigh police say he was shot in the leg yesterday evening and was taken to the hospital. The area is no stranger to crime scene tape and police lights. There were 286 crimes reported near the bus station in the first 7 months of this year. Police said in August that violent crime downtown decreased 22% in the first half of the year compared to the previous one. They credited the boost in security patrols around Moore Square. In April, city leaders voted to renew the contract with special police for at least another 3 years.
Lawmakers will be back in session today at the Legislative Building, where you're looking live this morning. A bill that would move $227 million into the state's Helene Relief Fund might once again be on the table. The bill would also strip power from incoming Democrats, including the governor and attorney general's offices. Governor Roy Cooper vetoed the bill before Thanksgiving, and Republicans will have to be united in both the House and the Senate to override that veto this week. However, I should note 3 Western North Carolina Republicans in the House voted against the bill the first time around. And North Carolina could get billions of dollars more in federal money for Helene relief in the coming weeks. That's if Congress takes up President Joe Biden's plan for $100 billion in disaster aid. North Carolina's U.S. Senators, Republicans Tom Tillis and Ted Budd, tell WRAL they want to see even more. They're also calling for reforms to the very way the government handles future disaster responses. Tillis said that while the strength with which Helene hit Western North Carolina was a shock, we need to prepare for more disasters like it.
We should be instructed by COVID to recognize this is a long-term recovery unlike we've ever seen. And we can either learn from it and start talking about creative ways now, or we can regret it later.
Governor Cooper estimated that Helene caused about $53 billion worth of damage to Western North Carolina.
A woman charged with stabbing a man multiple times in the parking lot of a Morrisville Walmart is expected to appear in court today. Takiria Norman is charged with assault with a deadly weapon after stabbing 43-year-old Fuad Elsenberry at least twice. This happened last Wednesday. Police say Norman and Elsenberry do not know each other, but they believe a dispute started over a parking spot. The last update from officials said that Elsenberry has critical injuries.
Today, the Wake County Board of Elections will hold a meeting that could shift the balance of power on the state Supreme Court. The race for a state Supreme Court seat between Republican Jefferson Griffin and Democrat Allison Riggs remains undecided. Now, keep in mind, it's been nearly a month since Election Day. Just 700 votes separate the candidates. Riggs is currently ahead, and a recount is coming, but Griffin is challenging roughly 60,000 ballots.
Reasons why he thinks some of these ballots were improperly counted. A Wake County specific example is that ballots cast by people who died were counted.
That was WRAL state government reporter Will Doran talking there. The Wake County Board of Elections will review the allegations today, and Democrats control the board 3-2.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, President Joe Biden facing criticism this morning for pardoning his son Hunter over federal felony gun and tax convictions. And this morning, we are seeing some reaction from fellow Democrats. We'll start with Representative Greg Stanton saying, "I respect President Biden, but I think he got this one wrong." Also, Colorado's Governor Jared Polis tweeting this, saying that while as a father, I certainly understand, I am disappointed that he put his family ahead of the country. But one person defending Biden is Eric Holder, writing, he served as Attorney General under President Obama. He said if Hunter's name was Joe Smith, he would have never been charged. He called the pardon warranted. We are waiting to see if any North Carolina officials are reacting to this. When they do, I'll bring it to you from the Live Center.
President-elect Donald Trump is facing criticism over his pick for FBI Director Kash Patel. The big question is whether the Senate will confirm him. Some Trump allies are supportive. Meanwhile, Patel is facing criticism for a lack of experience as well as controversial positions, including pledging to dismantle the agency. Trump appointed the current FBI Director, Chris Wray, whose term isn't set to end until 2027. Wray will either resign or face being fired.
Freddie Kitchens will be the next head coach of the UNC Tar Heels. The team named him their interim coach following the firing of Mack Brown. Kitchens has served as North Carolina's run game coordinator and tight end coach for the last 2 years. Kitchens was head coach of the Cleveland Browns in 2019, and he was an assistant coach with Dallas, Arizona, and the New York Giants in the NFL. Kitchens was a senior analyst with South Carolina in 2022 before joining the UNC staff last year. The athletic directors for both UNC and NC State released a statement about the brawl on the last game for Mack Brown. We can tell you right here the joint statement from Bubba Cunningham and Boo Corrigan reading, quote, We are disappointed by the conduct of some members of our football programs at the conclusion of our game on Saturday at Kenan Stadium. While the game was emotional and the Carolina-NC State rivalry is intense, we must always display good sportsmanship and represent our universities and the Atlantic Coast Conference with respect. We will address this incident with our respective teams. UNC and NC State were not the only teams who got physical after their game Saturday. The Big Ten Conference fined Michigan and Ohio State $100,000 each for their post-game brawl Saturday. According to the Big Ten, no other fines or suspensions will be handed out. After the Wolverines upset the second-ranked Buckeyes, a Michigan player tried to plant a flag on Ohio State's field, and that led to a fight between players from both teams. Police used pepper spray just to break this up. There were incidents at the Arizona State and Florida State games also.
6:10 now, just ahead, a sad update to that home that exploded near Charlotte 2 weeks ago. What we've learned about the man and woman who lived there.
And it is the season of giving, but there is a scam warning we want to tell you about. What you should remember ahead of Giving Tuesday so your money goes to the causes you trust.
And grab the jacket before you head out the door this morning. Temperatures running in the 20s and in the 30s, but the coldest air of the season yet to come. I'll show you how many mornings this week will feature a hard freeze coming up.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Coming up on 6:14 here Monday morning, starting out cold. You would expect that in December, right? Temperatures for the most part low to mid 30s. Here's the thing, they're not going to rise very much. Even as we get toward midday, we'll be at about 40 degrees, and high temperatures today just barely get into the 40s. Then by the evening, we're right back down into the 30s. Lows then in the 20s at the bus stop by tomorrow morning and Wednesday morning. So the kids are going to be looking like Ralphie's brother in A Christmas Story, just all bundled up in the layers, and with good reason. Hey, one thing you might want to keep in mind, tire pressure light may come on, especially with how warm it was Thanksgiving. Temperatures in the 20s the next 2 mornings. That tends to happen. But we get another rush of some of that Arctic air coming in. We'll time out the ups and downs in our forecast coming up.
All right, let's take a look at traffic now. We have green across the board on all of our major routes for the most part. We do have one new crash that just popped up in the last few minutes off of Capitol Boulevard near Durant Road, right there at Perry Creek Road. We're going to learn some more information about that. No delays on our sensors at this point, but I'll keep an eye on it. I-40 Wade Avenue, traffic starting to build here on our Monday morning here in the 6 o'clock hour. No incidents out there near Wade Avenue, but we'll keep an eye on it and let you know if anything pops up.
All right, thank you, Brett. An elderly man has died 2 weeks after he was badly hurt in a home explosion near Charlotte. A Union County spokesperson confirmed yesterday that 82-year-old Wesley Decker died Friday. He and his wife were both badly burned in the explosion at their home. That happened November 17th. His wife has since been released from the hospital. Now, investigators are believing that the explosion was sparked by fuel in the garage.
The husband of a missing hiker in Oregon has been arrested in connection with her murder. Authorities arrested 71-year-old Michael Fournier after they found his wife's body. Susan Lane Fournier was reported missing on November 22nd when she didn't show up for work. She had previously filed for divorce. Reports show she and her 2 large dogs went hiking in the Mount Hood National Forest. The medical examiner identified her and said they are investigating her death as a homicide. We have a warning about potential scams that you may face tomorrow on Giving Tuesday. The Federal Trade Commission reported imposter scams like fake charities resulted in nearly $2.7 billion in losses last year. So be on the lookout for fake donation websites. Make sure you can verify the charity is real before donating. Know that you don't need to give over the phone. Anyone who pressures you may not be someone you should give money to. Remember, it's okay to pause for a moment, ask questions, and do your own research. Take your time.
And don't just scan any QR code, right? They can steal your data. Another 5 on your side solve is in the books. A Navy vet says that he was turned away from a Raleigh restaurant after trying to enter with his service dog. When a fellow restaurant patron saw what was going on, well, he told the veteran to call Keeley.
He was the one that told me about WRAL. 5 on your side. I'm like, oh. Okay. He says, yeah, look it up.
Because Keeley gets it done. Tonight, only at 6, the swift action the restaurant took after 5 on Your Side got involved, and a look at the federal law protecting service dogs and their owners, too. The Carolina Panthers played a close game with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Bank of America Stadium. Bryce Young hit Adam Thielen for a 25-yard touchdown with 30 seconds left to put Carolina ahead. But, plot twist, the Buccaneers were able to tie in on a last-second field goal to send it to overtime. The Panthers were driving for a winning score, but Chuba Hubbard fumbled, and the Buccaneers were able to go the other way and set up a game-winning field goal. Tampa Bay beats Carolina 26-23.
Snow was not a deterrent for diehard Buffalo Bills tailgaters before last night's game against the San Francisco 49ers. Fans set up to tailgate 9 hours before kickoff. They even helped shovel snow. A lake effect snow warning and 1.5 feet of snow, not enough to keep them inside. The area received a reported 18.5 inches of snow.
And Chris, I tell you what, I'm always just fascinated when players are able to play out in the snow, because some of them, I don't know, you're probably slipping and sliding there. You got snow covering the football field.
You know, I regret playing Deebo Samuel in my fantasy team because they weren't going to be passing the ball in a game like that, but you live and learn. Look at some of these snow totals next to Lake Erie, Lake Ontario. These are radar estimated snow totals, and you see nearly 4 feet, even near Watertown, New York. They've seen an estimated 5 feet, and you're probably asking, all right, where's ours? Nowhere to be found, right? We've got the cold air, but the storm track is suppressed too far to the south for us to really see anything widespread. Now, we may see some flurries tonight. I'll get to that here in just a bit. But in the meantime, grab the jacket. 34 degrees the current temperature in Zebulon. Dew point at 20. That's when the air is very dry. So you may notice some things happening. You might need the lip balm, the lotion. Unfortunately, not to sound gross, but more nosebleeds may happen. And don't shock people. This is when static electricity really builds up when the air is very dry. So these are just a few of the side effects you may notice to the cold, dry air that's moved in. Jacket weather for sure. Temperatures in the low to mid 30s for the most part at the bus stop this morning. It'll be even colder the next 2 mornings. Today's our coldest day, coldest afternoon since January, with highs like this. South Hill at 40, Fayetteville 46, Raleigh at 43 degrees. Definitely a chilly one, but sunshine, so at least we've got that to work with. Clouds start moving in tonight, and there's that flurry potential I was talking about. The air, because it's so dry at ground level, is going to gobble up some of the snowflakes that try and make it to the ground. That's why I think there's only going to be flurries mostly south and west of Raleigh. By 7 a.m. tomorrow, it's out of here, so it really happens while most of us are asleep. Waking up tomorrow morning, 21 to 26 degrees. Wednesday morning, 19 to 23 degrees. Some things you could think about doing, giving the pets, of course, a warm place to stay. Plants should be brought in or covered up. And if you have exposed piping at your house, your apartment, let the faucet drip overnight, especially as we head into Wednesday morning. Here's a look at the next couple of days. Temperatures low to mid 40s today and tomorrow. We're up to 51 Wednesday afternoon. It will be cold for our tower lightings at 7 p.m. Wednesday. Thursday is going to feel nice, a high of about 58 degrees, but another front comes through and brings some of that Canadian air back into the mix. 20s for lows, 40s for highs, both Friday and Saturday. Here's Brett with a check of traffic.
Thanks, Chris. Take a look at that. It is Monday, 6:20 here on your Monday morning, and as we get the work week started, all green across the board. 540 looking good, even on our new stretch of 540 that connects all the way to I-40 near Johnston County. Not having any delays out there. Coming in from the Wendell area on 87, no delays either. Still have that one crash that's out there off of Capitol Boulevard near Durant Road, Perry Creek Road. No delays on the sensors right there, but that is a stoplight that generally backs up even if there's not a crash. So keep an eye on that here the rest of the morning. We'll let you know if it slows down. 440 at Glenwood Avenue. That is our live look there at the Beltline. Things looking good right now.
Thanks, Brett. Closing arguments begin today in the high-profile case of a Camp Lejeune Marine veteran charged with killing a man on a subway train. How we expect both sides to present their case as the trial comes to a close.
Plus, reaction is pouring in after President Biden decided to pardon his son Hunter after saying he wouldn't. What President-elect Donald Trump is saying about that decision.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
Well, it was the highest grossing Thanksgiving weekend at the box office ever.
And that's thanks in part to one seafaring hero. Let's take a look at what's trending. Moana 2 broke several records during its debut this past weekend. And those include biggest 5-day opening of all time, plus the biggest Thanksgiving weekend release. Went to go see it with my daughter, and it was very good. I still love the original one. The songs weren't as great in this one, but the animation, the storyline, beautiful. And they set it up for Moana 3. You know it's coming.
That's why I've been here. I'll have to watch that. So in case you missed this, this was very big news that we had on your social feed. Take a look. Only on WRAL, the U.S. birth rate, expecting parents, and an exclusive look at my first child. Wait, whoa. My first child? I'm gonna be a dad! Yeah. See, this is why you have to follow me on social media. You get that stuff exclusively there. But yes, I am going to be a dad. We are very excited. Christy and I are over the moon about this. I cried when she told me that she was pregnant, and I assume there will be more tears once our child arrives.
And that's the first picture of baby Loving Good.
You got to hear the heartbeat too. That sent shivers down my spine. Now, would you like to know what we're having, Renee?
Oh, that's right. The
Premiering here on WRAL.
Well, you did tell me, but
I
for
did.
the rest of
for
you,
the other
you
people, I have it right here. Are you ready? Wait for it. Hey, blue for a boy. Very excited. We have some names picked out there. The one that I was really hoping for, Conrad James Lovingood. That's not the one we're going to go with, but we're experimenting with different names there. So we'll have one by May when little guy arrives.
So excited for your newest adventure, this new chapter here. Your heart will grow so big, and you just got the best temperament for it. You're going to be a great dad.
I expect a lack of sleep.
And that child will be so loved.
I'm excited for it.
So welcomed by the WRAL family. It's expanding. Well, the town of Roseville will hold a tree lighting ceremony tonight. It is happening from 5 to 8 at Redford Place Park. The ceremony will feature a performance from the Roseville Elementary School Chorus, pictures with Santa, and train rides. Mayor Roddy Curran will also read the holiday classic, The Night Before Christmas. This event is free and everyone is invited.
And on Wednesday, WRAL will light our tower here on Western Boulevard. It's been a Raleigh Christmas tradition since the 50s. So put that on your calendar and celebrate with us again this Wednesday.
Always look forward to seeing that. When I was going to NC State, I would just look up and it makes your day. This may not make your day. The coldest afternoon since January. Temperatures then rising heading into Thursday. If it's going to be this cold, might as well snow, right? We'll show you if there's any chance of that happening coming up in the next half hour.
Plus, a man is hurt after shooting at the downtown Go Raleigh bus station. Why officials say the violent crime trend in the area is actually going down despite the shooting.
And we do want to give you a look this morning near Erie, Pennsylvania this morning. This is live. They're out on the roads there. See all that? Yeah, snow. The Northeast is getting more snow right now, on top of the more than 30 inches in some areas. We'll walk you through the warnings the Northeast and parts of the Midwest are experiencing.